What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are back for the 5 takeaways of the match that we just witnessed, the Supercup between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, in which we lost 3-1. Now, it's a very raw reaction. Haven't had a lot of time to debrief, but I want to get it out there because I think, honestly, raw reaction is the best. You speak with a little less of a filter, and that's what we're going to do today in a very observant way. I'm going to try to break down what I just witnessed, what you guys just witnessed, and what it honestly means going forward. So without further ado, let's get into it. And if you guys are ready, be sure to drop a like as you guys did. We had an amazing watch along, and of course subscribe if you're new. But my first takeaway, I guess as a whole, is going to be the back line. Now, it's going to be a whole bunch of folds to it because one, this isn't our back line. This is a thrown together back line. This is a B back line for Dortmund. We are missing Guerrero, we're missing Meunier, we're missing Hummels. Akanji is the only real one today, and it showed. I mean, Paslak had a very poor performance. He wasn't up to par. He was giving the ball away left, right, and center. He was getting burnt with speed. He was getting burnt. He was getting bullied. It was a very, very tough. He looked out of place, I guess is the way to put it. And I know it's harsh, and I just don't know how else to break it down because the big issue I had with him is that I knew that they were going to address that side. I said it in the preview. When you're taking a look at Paslak, you're expecting Alphonso Davies, Kingsley Coman, maybe Gnabry, Sané, whenever they come on, to attack him. And that's exactly what happened. And it was a lot of effort coming in that side. And that's where most of the chances were led from. He had a blunder of a game. In the middle of the park, I thought Witsel, average. I mean, he had to do what he had to do. I can't criticize him too much. There's no one else you could really stick in there. I don't think obviously Papadopoulos was really favored to go there. Akanji, I thought, had a good game. I thought he had a good game up until obviously the big mistake, but he was defending well. He was picking out passes. I was really praising the passing because you usually see it from Hummels. That's where the long range passing comes. But when you saw it from Akanji, it was a real eye opener. He was very good at picking out passes, and it was a real praise. And it was his job to really organize and try to keep up that back line. And then of course he had a horrible mistake, and that just killed the game. And all in all, I mean, you can't take too much from Akanji's game. When you make a mistake like that, it's tough. He was all right, but that's the last thing the Dortmund fans, including myself, are going to remember from that is a little flashback from when Zagadou did it. And of course, Lewandowski was the one who banged in the back of the net. And then of course, Nico Schultz, who I was actually the most impressed with. I thought he had a very good game. I thought he came up and down the pitch very well. He defended good in his transition play. His ball quality was a little bit better than it previously was, and all in all, not a bad option to have as a backup to Guerrero. And even if we play in a different shape, that can maybe push Guerrero up the field a little bit, which I know a lot of people would maybe be interested in seeing. So, I mean, Nico deserves it. Going on to my second takeaway, we're going to take a look at Gregor Kobel, because I know I can't really blame him too much with any of the goals, and if I'm being frank, but he is bringing a big different approach to this team. He really is, and that is the sweeper keeper. And if you look at the other side of the pitch today, you saw Manuel Neuer, and they were doing it a few times, both keepers out in no man's land, sweeping up and doing exactly what you need, and I like it. I thought Kobel was demanding. I thought he had a good game, even though he allowed 3 goals, but I can't really look at him when you have the placement of Robert Lewandowski going in on goals like that, and I don't know. It's impressive, and I'm hoping to see a little bit more of that continuing out further up and for the season, man, because it is important. Kobel, I thought you could take a little bit away from this game, and it's a keeper I like having. Someone who's honestly ballsy and wants to go out there and clean up and basically shut down opportunities, because exactly what he was doing. Going into my third takeaway, we're going to take a little bit look on the positive side, and that is Jude Bellingham, because I thought he was exceptional today. He was by far our best player. There was times that he threw Goretzka to the ground and Kimmich, and then Goretzka again leading to fouls. He was very, very good today. A huge kudos, and just another young man from England who is just getting better and better as the days go on. And I'm excited to have him in the middle of the park going out this season, because I think he's going to be such a vital part of it. Moving on, I guess, to the fourth takeaway, it's going to be a grand scheme of things. It's a few different players who were a little subpar, because to be able to move on, and I'm gonna put it down to a mentality thing, and these players are gonna fall with it for my fourth takeaway, because this is our 6th competitive match in a row which we've lost to Bayern. 6 competitive matches. It's a tough pill to swallow. A few of those matches in there were massive victories for Bayern. The most games last year, all of them were 1-goal games. This one was a lot closer as well, but it's just we can't get over that hump. I don't know what it is. Even having Marco Rose come to Dortmund, who is a very, very good manager in terms of competing against Bayern when he was at Gladbach, and Nagelsmann going to Bayern, who was very poor going up against Dortmund, and we still couldn't get it down. And it came down to individual performances and not getting it together when it matters against the likes of Bayern. And players like Gio, who again I thought was average. Was average today. I'm not saying he had a poor game by any stretch, but he was having such good performances before this, and then kind of had a lackluster performance. Jude, someone who's so responsible and has been such a revelation since coming into the squad, was giving passes away that he can never see. He's very good on the ball. His passing percentages are very high, and today I can count on probably one hand and maybe even two hands the amount of times he just happened to give the ball away. It was a sloppy performance all in all, and I don't know if it was a mentality thing or if it was just nerves or what exactly it is, but it hurt a few players' performances today. And if you want to beat Bayern, you need all 11 players on that pitch, including the substitutions that are coming on, being ready to go into it. And when a few players are off, you're going to be punished. And a few players today for Dortmund had a tough game or just weren't effective enough to be able to push them to it, and which is why Bayern ultimately didn't have to do much. Because let's not get carried away. Bayern did not have a great game by any stretch. We pretty much handed them the win from just poor decision making on our own. But I'm going to wrap it up on a kind of a better note. And in my fifth takeaway, it's going to be the big picture. And the big picture from this game, like I was mentioning earlier, this was not a full squad Dortmund side. That is something we need to really realize. This back four will be drastically changed, and that's where a lot of the issues from the day came on. Another big picture is the fact that Bayern has their full strength team pretty much. You can argue the right back could be a few other players, but honestly, that's going to be their weakest spot regardless. This is their full strength squad, and they did not have a very good game. And they were opened up at the back, and there was opportunities to score goals. We put the ball in the back of the net 2 or 3 times tonight. Well, 2 nights, and had an opportunity to put one in with a Marco Reus opportunity. Couple offsides. It could have went a different way. And with a full strength Dortmund squad going at them in the Bundesliga this year, there's an opportunity we could take some big points off of them. And I don't know. And we had Bayern fans in the chat today. We got a real Bayern perspective. They weren't sold on their team's performances. However, we were not sold on it. But like I said, you want to take a big picture away. This was not a full squad from Dortmund. It was for Bayern. And we did go toe-to-toe. We played better on stretches. It was individual mistakes that killed us, but for long stretches of that game, we came back into it, and we were the better team. And I think that's what made some Bayern fans questioning it, and that's what gave some Dortmund fans something to take from this game. But like I said, to go up against Bayern and get 3 points and or some silverware, you need 11 players on the pitch doing everything right, and that just wasn't the case for us today. But you can take some stuff from that there's still going to be some question marks around Bayern's performances, and hopefully an opportunity for Dortmund to exploit that. So with that being said, guys, that is my 5 takeaways today. A very raw 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you agree with, something you disagree with, something I missed. Let us know what we need to do going forward to be able to compete with Bayern, to try to take some points off them, to give us a chance. Because another nice little takeaway for you guys is we are above them in the table. 1 game in, so you know. And we're above them. We got to keep it up and hopefully bounce back and learn from these mistakes and get a healthy squad and maybe even address the transfer market. And I'm looking at a right back position, maybe even a center back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and we will talk to you guys soon.